Hello and welcome to Mistakes Were Made. This is a channel that I created to document my family's progress with debt reduction and eventual elimination. And today we are going to do our cash stuffing. We do all of our stuff, at least at this point, based on a per pay period basis. First half of the month, second half of the month is how everything falls and is organized. So today we are doing the first half of the month cash stuffing for our envelopes here. So let's get started and see what we are working with. And let's move that just over there. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 600, 650, 700, 750. 70, 790, 810, 830, 850, 870, 890, 910, 920, 930, 940, 950, 960, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95. Sorry, 995, 96, 97, 98, 99, 1000, 1, 2, 3. $1,003 is what we are working with today. So for those of you who have been to the channel before, welcome back. Very happy to have you here. And for those who are new, I hope you find something interesting with what you see and you decide to come back and see what else we have going on in the future and maybe check out some of our older videos. For those of you who are new, these are the lovely cash envelopes that I have. We do not cash stuff every envelope, every pay period. We have some that we cash stuff both pay periods. We have some that we stuff the first half of the month and some that we stuff the second half of the month. So not everything is going to get stuffed today, but we'll still take a look at it and kind of see. Well, you know what? I don't think we'll get into the ones that we're not actually going to stuff today, now that I think more about it. So AAA does not get stuffed during this period, but as you can see, I have taken some of the advice that some of you guys have put down in the comments. I have put on here what my goal is, and so we will stop stuffing this particular one once we get to $150. And I didn't think that I had any, what are they called? Not note cards, but you know, these things. But I actually was rummaging around in one of our many shelves and cupboards and stuff, and I found an old coupon box where I had this great idea that we were going to be these excellent couponers, and this was like a number of years ago at this point. It never really took off because I never got into the habit of that. But that particular box actually came with these sort of index cards. It's obviously, it doesn't have stuff on the back, so you know, it's not exactly like an index card, but I figured these would be good enough to use for the cash envelopes to do a little bit of tracking, and it didn't cost me any money, so that's always a plus. So anyway, as you can see, we've got one back here, and we will do the updates when we actually stuff the envelopes. We've got birthdays, and that one does not get stuffed during this pay period. Car maintenance, however, does, and it gets $100. So we will just take one of these bad boys, and so we are now at 100, 225. So I have this noted as 128 because that was kind of when I put all of this together, but it's not actually 128 today. So what did I just say? 225. So we had 125 on there. So 2, 3 is today. Yeah, 2, 3. Now we are at 225. So I'll do that. Now this particular one, it is one that could be a black hole if we really wanted it to, but we decided $1,200 is a good stopping point. Honestly, I'd be surprised if we ever actually make it to there, because eventually we are going to need to pull money out of here. I do need to do that soon. The dealership keeps sending me messages reminding me that I have car maintenance due, because I did not go in for my typical oil change, but that's because me working at home, I'm not using the car nearly as much. So to me, I figured I'd just wait until I hit the mileage number that they gave rather than 3 months later, because we're not driving that car nearly as often as when I was working in the office or going into the office, even as it's hybrid, work from home, etc. So that said, with the job situation, I am not seeing a lot of positions that offer even hybrid, let alone remote. So there's a great chance that any new job I get will be in the office and likely 100%. So the commute piece is going to probably come up higher. So we will see more cost for maintenance and the need to make sure that we're staying on top of the timing of our maintenance, as well as probably gas. So stuff to be concerned about for the future. Christmas, we do fund. And we will do $12. Okay. So we have 20, 30, 40, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, and $60. I'm not gonna worry about that. We'll just do this. Okay. And this one, we will be stopping at $350. We try to make sure that we are even-handed in how much we are spending on each of the kids, because that's basically what this is for. So we don't need to save up a ton of money, and there's not a lot of them. We don't have kids ourselves, so this is all nieces and nephews. Clothing does not get anything. Dine out does. Now, since this is one that we fund for the month, so we fund it now in the beginning of the month, and whatever we put in here needs to last to the end of the month. And if there's anything left at the end of the month, then we'll take that out and we'll put it into our miscellaneous envelope. Because of that, we do not have like a goal amount that we would hit and stop funding, because typically the money in here is very transitory. It's going to be spent or it's going to transition over into our miscellaneous at the end of the month. So this gets $50. You know what? I think I'm actually going to do 2 20s and a 10. Hopefully that doesn't mess stuff up. If it does, we will come back here and put a 50 in instead. And that's also why we don't have a tracker on here, because we're not keeping track of the money for the most part. Entertainment, similar, it gets no, that's supposed to be 2 20s. $50. And just like dining out, it has the same handling on it. Okay, garden and yard gets 25. So 20 and a 5. Now this one, we have decided we're going to stop at $1,000. Honestly, with the type of stuff that we need to do in our yard, $1,000 probably isn't enough. But you know, once you get there and you spend it, then you go and you save it again. So we've got 20, 30, 45, $50 in there. And sadly, that is not going to get us very far with our garden stuff, because we have a lot of soil that we need to fill some of our raised beds, and we don't have a lot that we can reconstitute from last year. We do still have a little bit that we'll be able to try and revitalize, but yeah, we're definitely going to need some kind of stuff for that. We're going to need to buy a few starts. I think I mentioned that in a different video. Most of the stuff that we're going to do in the garden this year, we're going to try and start from seed ourselves, but there will be a few things that we need to purchase, such as strawberries. And there's a couple of peppers that we don't have the seeds for, so we will be purchasing them from, you know, a nursery or Home Depot, Lowe's, you know, one of those places. So $50 unfortunately is not going to go very far as that is concerned. Some of the good news is some of that stuff we wouldn't want to put into our garden until about April or May. So that gives us a little bit of time as far as like the planting part. But right now really is kind of the time to get started on getting your soil, you know, worked and mulched, and get all of the nutrients starting to go so that it'll be ready for the stuff that you're going to be planting. And unfortunately, the first stuff that we plant, which is onions and lettuces and stuff like that, those typically go in March. So at least that's what I tend to do. So we don't have a lot of time. So we may have to make some changes as far as how we're allocating some of our money to help accomplish those goals. Next is gas, which is going to get $100. It is also one where we did not put a goal, because at the end of the pay period, not the month like entertainment and dining, but at the end of the pay period, any money that is left will actually I'm switching this up. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. Sorry. I had it. I'm pretty sure when I was thinking about how many of each of these I got, I was like, oh, maybe we should split this up into two. Anyway, this, whatever's left in here, will go into a miscellaneous as well, because this gets refunded the next pay period. So we have $100 in there. Gifts gets nothing this go round. Giving does get some. It gets $5. And you know, I haven't really decided what we want to do for giving. And you know, I talked to my partner and he wasn't really sure exactly what he wanted to do with it either. So I don't know. We do like to support our local humane society. Obviously, we are definitely animal people. So that's an option. Maybe once we build this up, if we can build this up a decent amount, you know, we put 250 as kind of our limit. If we happen to get to there, maybe the next time we go out, we give a server that's done, you know, a really good job, you know, a $250 tip. That might be something that we could do. I don't know. For those of you who do have a giving envelope, what do you guys typically use it for? How do you disperse that out? I'm absolutely open to some ideas. So groceries is definitely one that is a per pay period funder. It gets $200 because we do $100 a week. And as I verified during our budget with me, there are only 4 weeks that I need to fund. And so we will not be short a week this time. Household, this gets $25 as well. And just like the yard and garden, it is got a cap of $1,000. And look at that, we got some more dog hair. What a surprise. So we are at $20, $30, $45, $50 there. I'm not sure if I should be doing, like a running total or how much I've added on the particular day. I'm figuring a running total is going to be easier to know, where we're at. So that's why I'm kind of going this route. But if other people have a different method of tracking, let me know, and I'll see if that makes sense to us as far as something we might want to change to. Oh gosh, I thought I got rid of that dog hair. Apparently not. All right. Okay, next is license and fees, which gets I almost said 340. No, it does not. It gets $34. So that'll be a 10, 20, a 10, and 4 ones. 2, 3, 4. And I've put a total of $250 on here. Now, what this has been put together for is to pay for my business license, to pay for my driver's license when it comes due. Now, obviously, the driver's license, it's not an every year thing. So once that has been paid, then I can just fund for the next year's business license. And because of how I have my business license set up, this year I believe it's going to be $150, whereas next year I think it's only going to be $100. So I figured that $250 will be plenty. Once we get past the immediate need right now this year of the fees that need to be paid. Wow. Okay, I'm not sure why that took a tumble, but hopefully everybody's okay. We've got 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 91, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 100, and 1, 2. Does that make sense? 102? Maybe. What's 34 times 3? Yeah, I guess 102 is right. All right. I don't know why that feels like it's not right, but feels strange. At some point, I think I'm going to have to come in here and do a little bit of cleanup so that I don't have so many small bills. Okay, miscellaneous. I don't know that we're going to have anything to put in here for today, so I'm going to put it towards the back. But what I have decided is if we get to the point where we have $1,000 in our miscellaneous, then we're going to move it and deposit it into the bank and then either use it for, debt reduction, put in saving, whatever we decide to do with that money. But we won't continue to fund in cash in there beyond $1,000, and we'll just kind of start it over. I'm not anticipating that we're going to ever get to that point. You never know, but I'm not anticipating it. But I'll stick it up just in case we do find that there's stuff that will end up going in there. Mom loan. This does not have a bucket, you know, and an amount that we'll stop at until basically it's until we pay this down. And she gets $250. And so we are at 100, 200, 300, 400, 50, and $500. So let's we shouldn't have too terribly much left to go on this loan. We paid it down to just under $1,999 in December. So with this, that puts us at $1,499. So it'll, you know, we still have a few more months, but yeah, we're making some progress there. Actually, I think I want this in the back. And it'll be nice to get that paid off. My mom has been incredibly generous and very, very patient with us paying this back. So you know, that'll be good. Pets are not going to get funded this time around, so we won't talk about them at the moment. Prime does not get this go around. Savings. Okay. So, oof. This is very stuffy. Okay, so savings. This this guy, I feel like I still need to move this. Okay. So this guy, every pay period, we do pay into savings $185. I've decided I don't want more than $500 in cash in here. So everything else, we are just going to put it into savings directly. And so this time around, I did budget in here for that to hit that $500, so it's going to be $110, and that should put us at 500. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 50, 70, 80, 85, 90, 95, 500. Perfect. That said, let's get these all the right or the same way. Okay, so we're gonna mark this. Oh, Now the question is, I was just looking at this. So this is $1,500, but there's $75 more that we already transferred because it's $185. So I think I actually don't want this to be $1,500. I want this to be $1,575 because we want to count all of the money that we are saving, not just what we have in here. So now that we are at a point where, I guess we'll put this in the front, where no more money, I don't want to put any more money in here. And we need to kind of track, or we would need to track the savings. Okay, see, if I ever make these again, I'm making them smaller than I did for this because it's kind of a pain in the butt. Even though we have the tracker here, I was trying to figure out, okay, how do I want to keep track of the fact that yes, we are saving the $185, but it's not showing up in here to physically be counted, so that we don't like lose track. So what I ended up doing, and this is kind of ganky, I guess, is I created a little savings tracker thing, and I made a whole bunch of coins. And so I should probably make a little coin right up here. I didn't think about it at the time, but we'll have a little coin here for $75. And so every time we have a savings opportunity, then I can just fill one of these in, and that will, you know, let me know where we are as far as tracking is concerned. I'm going to do this purple one. And look, now it'll give me the opportunity to use my pretty little pens that I got. It's kind of hard to read, but hopefully I'll be able to figure it out. So we now have $75 in there. Next pay period, I would be marking this. However, the other day, so I actually made this not long after I did the last cash stuffing, and I was talking about, hey, I don't know how I'm gonna, you know, track stuff and what I should do with the extra, since I didn't want to keep it in here, if I should do, you know, fake money or whatever. And so I decided to go this route and make a tracker. The other day, yesterday, I think it was either yesterday or the day before, I was looking at where we are in our savings. And we have a savings goal that we are trying to meet that will fund the amount of money that I contribute to the budget on a monthly basis. And that amount of money would cover 6 months, because in our minds, 6 months is a good amount of time to try and find a new job. And while the goal will be to try and find a job that fully replaces the wage, salary, whatever that my current job makes, we are obviously aware that that's not a given. And so if that hasn't happened, you know, in about 3, maybe 4 months, then we're definitely going to have to, because it's going to be my job, I'm definitely going to have to broaden my search a little bit more, and we will have to look at our budget and see how a lower paying job is going to affect everything. So when we were looking at that the other day, I realized that this pay period, with the savings that we're doing here today in the cash envelope, we have an automatic transfer that we do into savings, and the expected unallocated amount that we should have at the end of this pay period that would go into savings. Between all of that plus what I've calculated I should be getting for my accrued but unused PTO. Now that's of course assuming that I do not take any PTO until all of this situation is over, and that's kind of the goal, at least for right now, as well as what I'm calculating I should be getting from my severance package, because they've let us know, at least we know what the severance package was for previous people, and they haven't mentioned that there's any change. So based on that information, after this pay period, we should be at that goal amount. So then the question becomes, do we continue to do the savings and just keep it into our savings and keep count of it, and and then, do whatever we're going to do, whether it just stays in savings and helps elongate the amount of time that I'm able to look for a job, or do we put it towards debt? And my thought is, while yes, I would feel even more secure the more money we have saved up, in case the job hunt takes longer than 6 months, which for some of the folks that got laid off back in August and stuff like that, they are still looking for jobs. I don't know their particular situations and why, it's taking longer than one would hope. But, the reality is that is a situation some people are finding themselves in. So, continuing to build that savings would help feel like we've got even more cushion. But the longer we aren't paying on debt in in a larger manner, the longer it's going to take for us to pay it back. And, we are on a little bit of a deadline for some of our promos. So instead of taking the savings that normally we would continually be bumping into the no job fund, I think what we're going to do is actually put that towards debt, which kind of stinks because I made this really neat tracker and I wanted to use it. So, I'm kind of sad about that. But on the other hand, I've made some other savings challenge things that maybe I can use. I don't know if I want to necessarily go through the rigmarole of doing a savings challenge just to then go put the money onto a credit card, though. So I'm kind of hemming and hawing on how exactly we're going to do that piece. But bottom line is we are going to have some money that now is opened up and is available to potentially put towards savings challenges and of course be putting towards debt in a more rigorous fashion than what we've been able to do currently. And that will start not this pay period, but the second pay period of February. And we'll see what that looks like once the job is gone too, because it's still up in the air. I still don't know. I have no idea when this thing's going to go away. So it's very frustrating. But oh my goodness, this has become a very long video. So we are looking at taxes next. It gets $42. And let's hope that we have $42 left. So yes, we do. Cool. All right, so oh, we got our sparkly bill in here. Okay, so we've got 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, ooh, sparkle, 23, 24, 25, 26. $126 for taxes. So let's write that down. And my goal and my hope is that I'm not going to actually need to pay anything for taxes. I'm hoping that between what I paid in taxes for, just my regular job and what I have in costs, it will be low enough, the math of it will work out so that if there isn't a refund, then there's zero to actually pay. If I can get away with only having to pay $142, $146 and $96 in taxes. I don't even remember how much it was. That would be amazing. Of course, I don't want to have to pay, but if it turns out that this doesn't need to be used, I think we'll probably keep it in here because, as you can see, we made a hard line at $2,000. My Etsy shop is not, super viable. It gets a piddly amount every now and then, but it's still, you have to claim it. Could generate tax ramifications. So I think we'll still keep the money in here and just continue to let it build up. And then if it gets to 2,000, then we'll stop. We won't touch it anymore. And we come to a point where taxes do need to be paid, then we'll have the money available. Vacation is one of our savings challenge things, so there's nothing in there, and I put a goal of $3,500. That is a lot of money for a vacation to me. Typically when we do a vacation, it's usually, and this was well into the past when we didn't have dogs and we could actually get away for a period of time. $1,000 was like the high end of cost because we typically would go camping, maybe we'd rent a cabin, but it would be, for 2, maybe 3 days, and then food and stuff like that. So $3,500 is quite a bit of money for a vacation. I'm not anticipating that we're going to be in a position to take a vacation for a number of years now into the future. So maybe what we do finally do once we can will require that kind of money. So we'll see. But we have not started funding that. We're not going to start funding that for a while, so it's still on the back burner. All right, here we are. This is the end of the cash stuffing. Today was a very, very good day. It's the 40-minute video, but this was a good day. It was a beautiful day outside. I got to putter around in the garden and start doing some cleanup of our raised garden beds. I checked out our fruit trees so that I could see, what we need to do this coming Saturday as far as doing some trimming and spraying and stuff. I mean, it was warm, the sun was out, and when I first went outside, there was like a million birds chirping. It was just so lovely. It was a very lovely day, and I hope all of you had a wonderful day. So I apologize for how long this video is, but I hope you stuck with us. Please know that I really appreciate the time that you spend watching however much of the video you watch, whether you watch it in, fast speed, regular speed, or whatever. I know how it can be. So any time that you spend and see what we're doing is very appreciated. If you have any suggestions, ideas, etc., as usual, please note them below. If you just want to say hi, love those comments as well. And I guess that's it. So we'll see you in the next one.